this presentation is a presentation on the evolution and relationship that has with the yoga anatomy in the context of also Patanjali's yoga. And I talk about the evolution because evolution to me is like living in a labyrinth. Okay? In a labyrinth you try to come in, and then this is like your life, and then suddenly when you think that you're coming in, really you start going out. But the objective here is to get always to the center. And that center to me, when you come in, is your birth. And then this presentation is going to show us how the evolution to that birth is. And based in what? Based in the elements, or Tatwas, which the books speak about. And these elements are in the universe. In yoga there is a principle that is what is in is out there. So you have these elements starting like in the pure vibration of akasha, which is ether or void, and this element start kind of rotating, and then when it rotates it starts segregating some other elements, which is, for example, oxygen, and that oxygen becomes air, and that air comes and then it goes into this void and then encounters probably a worm or probably a worm or probably something, and then when it tries to get seen it generates fire, it generates heat, and that fire is the Agni element. Okay? And then once it decided that it goes there, then it just wows and then lands, or actually it's just get to the water zone, to an ocean or to a womb, if it's that he is going to be born in a human being. And then that, after a while, being taken by the waves, okay, then you go and land in a beach, the earth. And those are the elements that are just combining the life on earth. And then that, the combination of these elements is what makes you a human being or something else. Okay? So again, these elements are the earth of Prithvi, the water of Apas, the fire of Agni, the air of Vayu, and the ether of void, Akasha. And in fact, in Ayurveda, the sister science of yoga, define the doshas, which are the types of human nature based on the elements. For example, a Vata type of person is the one that has ether and air elements in his nature. Then the Pitta has fire and water. And then the Kapha has water and earth. And that's how we can know what kind of a person it is. Either we qualify them in either one of these doshas or the type of human nature based in those elements that we saw before in the Tatwas. But once you are born or you have that kind of combination of elements, you live in different states or properties of the nature. Okay? Like, for example, there are properties that were tamasic, tamas, which is inertia or dullness. Okay? There is another one which is movement or activity, and it's rajas. Okay? This is when you want to make a presentation at work, so you have to be very rajasic. Okay? And then there is a property of nature which is very calm, okay, which is pure vibration, and it's called sattva. And that sattvic state is what the evolution of our nature will take us through yoga. So there are no bad or good ones here, because if you want to go to sleep, you better be tamasic at that moment. If you want to go and get active, then you better be rajasic. And if you are meditating in yoga, then you better be sattvic. But then you can have more or less some of them at the same time. And that affects the body. But the body that we have is that has different layers, okay, or koshas that they took about in the books. Okay? The very basic one is the physical one, the one that we are very aware of all the time. Okay? And that is called the Annamaya Kosha. And then the second one, surrounds that physical one, is the energy body, or Pranamaya Kosha. Okay? And then you have the sensorial mind layer, which is Manomaya Kosha. This is when the mind is used to process the input of the senses only at that level. Okay? Because the mind has another function, which is a superior function, that is the layer of Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is the one that is the consciousness, the intuition, the assertiveness, the creativity. That humans are in this one. Okay? And then there is another layer that takes us in the evolution of these bodies to the bliss of Anandamaya Kosha. And as you can see, this, depending on the mixture of the elements, you can be, say for example, if the different elements combine in a certain way, then you become only a rock, which is physical only. Or you can become a plant, or a tree. Or you can become an animal, in which you only have the process of the senses. Humans are basically Vijnanamaya Kosha. And through the practice of yoga, what we want to do is explore and be aware of this layer of our body, the Anandamaya Kosha. Since we are very aware of our physical body, let's talk a little bit more about the energetic body, the Pranamaya body. Okay? And for that we have to define, let's call it organs. They're called chakras. Chakras or wheels. But I prefer the word Sanskrit of translation of chakra as vortex or vortices. And these chakras are just places where we have these different locations. Okay? This poster a little bit busy, but in this side has the name of the chakra, the element that governs that chakra, okay? And it has the yantra of every chakra, and then I have the bija mantra. And as you can see at the very base, you have the Muladhara chakra, chakra number 1, okay? The element of earth. And the yantra is in a square. And this letter that is inside is the first letter in the Sanskrit alphabet of the Bija mantra. So the L is the first letter of Lam, the Bija mantra for the Muladhara chakra. Then the second one is the Svadhisthana chakra. The Svadhisthana chakra that is placed about the pubic bone. And then the element is water. The yantra is a crescent moon. And this letter in Sanskrit is the V for the Bija mantra of that chakra, which is Vam. Then you have the Manipura chakra, just above the navel. Okay? The element of that chakra is the fire. Okay? And then this yantra is a pointing downwards triangle. And this letter is the letter R in the Sanskrit alphabet, which is the first letter of the mantra Ram for that given chakra. And then you have, at the heart level, the Anahata chakra, which element is air. And the yantra is 2 interlaced triangles. Funny enough, we know them more like the Devi star. And this letter inside is the Y of the Bija mantra Yam. And then